As a director of Google West Africa, my other question is, Nigeria lacks data. Where are we? Because today it's registered with BVN, tomorrow it's NIN, next tomorrow. I think there should be a synchronization of all of these database. Maybe just upgrade required. But why do we always have to go and queue for these data that we have? The government should have. Is that something that maybe is Google that is to help Nigeria, or Nigeria is lacking behind somewhere?
Thank you. So data is very important, and how we capture and manage data is also important. And yes, there is an opportunity to synchronize our databases a lot more for better efficiency and to actually increase the scope of what we can do with that data. I know it's an ongoing process, and certainly there's a lot of room to build on what already exists. It's great that we're getting data being captured, personal data for the national ID card. It's great that these various databases are being created. But yes, it would be great to integrate all of them so that there is a lot more ease and convenience on the side of users, and also more features and more functionality coming out of the use of those databases.
Federal government prioritizes the deployment of ICT to fast-track development. So the main question is the development competitive enough for us as a country to depend on ICT for revenue?
I think there's a lot of room for growth. Nigeria is a large country. We have about 200 million people, and broadband penetration is still far below what our aspirations would be. And I would say that even in the wave of the pandemic, the COVID pandemic last year, and carrying on this year as well, we've seen acceleration to digital. But there have been infrastructure constraints. People, more and more, we're seeing webinars done, and then sometimes you have connectivity challenges with those webinars. A lot of schools have gone online, but some of the public schools, right, are challenged around that because the students don't have access to the internet, and there are alternatives that are used, like radio stations and so on. For us to be able to create that robust education opportunity, it's really important that we have reliable connectivity across board, and also access to low-cost connectivity in rural areas. This is an imperative if we're really going to tap into the rich benefits that come from stimulating a digital economy. And the beauty of this is that Nigerians are very talented people. If you give them access and basic tools, they do great things.
You, as the director of West Africa, Google, I want to find out your concerns with countries that are politically unstable. We have in 2019 alone, over 19 countries in Africa shutting down the internet partially or fully. Whenever we have elections or when we have public opinion and outcry from the masses, you hear the government say they want to shut down the internet. That should present a major concern for you. How does that greet you?
I think it's really important to encourage the open internet, and I think a lot of advocacy and education is required across board for our governments to understand that the internet is not really a threat. The internet provides opportunities for people to actually grow the economy, right? For people to be empowered, for people to complement their learning with e-learning tools, online tools, to connect with people around the world, even to drive exports. In Nigeria, for example, we're talking a lot about diversifying the economy and increasing exports. Well, guess what? Already, with platforms like YouTube, people are exporting creative content, exporting their talents, their passion points. And on top of that, a lot of them are monetizing that content, which means they're attracting income from outside in, which is exactly what we aspire to when we think about building the economy. And so I think there's a lot of scope for providing awareness about the huge benefits that technology provides for the economy and for our governments, and for governments to see it as an important tool that can complement their work and their aspirations for the growth of the country.
So there's self-direction, self-awareness, and self-discipline were focal points in your book. So the self-discipline happens to be the most difficult for many, despite having the vision and the direction of where they are headed. So my question now to you is, how do we break the barrier of self-discipline?
That's a great question. And I always say that self-discipline is the highest form of self-love. Sometimes when we hear the word discipline, we have a negative connotation. It sounds like, oh gosh, the ultimate sacrifice. I'm going to stress myself. It's going to be hard work. I won't enjoy it, etc. But actually, self-discipline is just really around mobilizing yourself and your resources to move yourself from where you are to where you want to, applying some level of self-leadership in doing so. And I would say, you know, in terms of organizing your world for success, it's really about thinking through ways that work for you to achieve what you want to achieve.